Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a story that, frankly, still gives me goosebumps every time I think about it.
It's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah. Imagine a life where one moment you're cut from your dream career, essentially broke, with literally $7 in your pocket.
Just $7. Wow.
God, next. Well, years later, you've built this sprawling, diverse empire, estimated to be worth over $800 million.
We're talking, of course, about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Exactly. And this deep dive, we're going far beyond just the box office numbers and the, almost unbelievable social media following.
That's precisely right. This isn't merely a chronicle of financial success, though there's an immense amount to unpack there, definitely.
For sure.
Our true mission today is, I think, more profound: to decode the intricate strategies, the deeply ingrained mindset, and the truly unwavering behaviors that allowed Johnson to transform profound adversity into his core identity, and then turn that identity into unparalleled global influence. He built this colossal brand without ever, and this is truly crucial, losing his authentic self.
Absolutely. And when we say empire, we mean it in the broadest sense. We're talking about starring in Hollywood blockbusters that rake in hundreds of millions, yes.
Of course, the movies are huge.
But also his ownership stakes in fitness brands, a rapidly growing energy drink, a wildly successful tequila company.
Teremana, yeah, exploded.
And a social media presence that boasts an astronomical 395 million followers across platforms. I mean, that's more than the entire population of some large nations.
It's staggering. It's not just a collection of ventures. It's a vast interconnected ecosystem, meticulously built by one man.
And while Johnson is undeniably a unique phenomenon, the principles embedded in his journey, well, they seem remarkably universal.
That's what we want to get into. What we aim to uncover today are the actionable insights, the things that can be applied far beyond the realm of celebrity.
Right.
The fundamental question we want to leave you with, the one we encourage you to ask yourself throughout this deep dive is, can we apply these same strategies, the same blueprint, in our own lives?
Yeah, can you apply this?
Because at its heart, this is really a masterclass in building something truly undeniable, no matter where you start from.
Okay, let's unpack this blueprint then, starting right at the very foundation. Mm-hmm. His incredibly unique and frankly fascinating relationship with money.
It's not what you'd expect.
No. For Johnson, in the beginning, money wasn't about lavish abundance or, luxury cars. It was born from a much more primal, raw place.
Fear.
Fear, yeah. Not surprisingly, the fear of failure itself, but the profound fear of never having control. That seems to be the core of it.
What's truly fascinating here, and what he often references, is that pivotal moment. He was 23 years old.
Just a kid, really.
Recently cut from the Canadian Football League, adrift, sleeping in a tiny apartment in Miami and staring at a future that felt completely shattered.
And in his wallet, exactly $7. $7. That figure wasn't merely a memory of a low point. It became an indelible core memory, a powerful motivation, his personal mantra.
And ultimately, it became the namesake of his first production company, $7 Productions.
Right. It's more than just a company name. It's a living symbol of that foundational mindset.
Definitely. Most people, if they found themselves in that exact situation looking at $7, would see definitive, crushing proof of failure. Like game over.
A sign that everything had gone spectacularly wrong. But Johnson, as you highlighted, he transmuted that moment. He saw it not as an end, but as the beginning of autonomy.
Exactly. For him, money was never just about acquiring possessions. It was about buying choices. It was about meticulously crafting a life where no one ever again could look at him and utter those soul-crushing words, "You don't belong here."
Wow. That deep, visceral experience became an incredibly powerful, enduring driving force, shaping every decision that followed.
Indeed. That deep-seated fear translated directly into an intense, almost obsessive drive for control over his own narrative and opportunities.
It wasn't about hoarding wealth for wealth's sake.
No, not at all. It was about ensuring he could dictate his own path, rather than being dictated to. This desire for absolute autonomy informed every subsequent financial decision he made.
So, if you truly grasp this core motivation, then his approach to navigating Hollywood, which often appears counterintuitive to outside observers, it starts to make perfect strategic sense.
It absolutely does. Because traditionally, when you think about actors in Hollywood, particularly when they're first breaking out or just hitting their stride,
Yeah, they're chasing the big paycheck, right?
they're often chasing immediate paydays, high-profile roles, and the instant gratification that comes with fame and fortune. But Johnson's approach was fundamentally different.
How so?
He built his financial empire slowly, deliberately, with what you could accurately describe as an investor's mindset.
Okay, an investor's mindset, not just an actor for hire.
Precisely. He wasn't content simply being a well-paid actor. He aspired to be the one writing the contracts, building the studios, owning the intellectual property, and ultimately controlling the entire value chain.
And this is a critical distinction. $7 Productions wasn't conceived merely as a creative vehicle for him to greenlight pet projects.
No, it was explicitly engineered as a sophisticated control mechanism. By co-producing his own films, from monumental hits like Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle in Jumanji, the next level,
Huge hits.
to a more ambitious passion projects like Black Adam, Johnson ensured he was far more than just the talent in front of the camera.
He became part of the structure.
He meticulously transformed himself into a bona fide decision maker, a strategic shareholder, deeply entrenched in the power structure of entertainment. This allowed him unprecedented influence over storylines, casting, marketing strategies, the whole vision.
He wasn't just taking a role, he was shaping the entire enterprise.
Exactly. For example, early on, $7 was highly selective about its studio partners. They often leveraged Johnson's unique, undeniable global appeal to demand a direct seat at the table during budget allocation, even script development.
Really? That early?
Oh yeah. His longtime business partner, Danny Garcia, was instrumental in pioneering these hybrid deals that blurred the lines between a traditional actor salary and production equity. They were basically setting new precedents for talent ownership in an industry typically resistant to that kind of power shift.
Wow. So it was never just about his name on the poster?
No, it was about the complex legal and strategic architecture behind it. That was the real power play.
And this foundational financial philosophy, this unwavering drive for ownership and control, it wasn't just confined to the movies, right?
Not at all. It permeated every single one of his ventures. He consistently reinvested his earnings not just into personal luxury, but into the very infrastructure of his burgeoning empire.
Like what specific?
Well, think about it. Training teams, meticulously crafting his personal brand, scaling content production, and then crucially, securing direct product ownership in businesses completely outside of film.
Okay, give us an example.
ZOA Energy. He didn't just sign on as a celebrity endorser. He became a co-founder and an actual equity partner, deeply involved in crafting the brand from the ground up, product development, formulation, the messaging, the long-term vision.
So if he's actually in the boardroom making decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with Teremana Tequila, it wasn't simply about maximizing profit. It was intrinsically about authentic storytelling, deeply rooted in his personal narrative.
You can feel that with the brand.
Right. The brand consciously reflects his Samoan and Mexican heritage, positioning the product as community-rooted, genuine, and accessible. In today's market, where consumers are increasingly value-driven and wary of just celebrity endorsements.
Yeah, people see through that now.
That deep-seated authenticity resonates far more profoundly than any traditional glossy marketing campaign ever could. He wasn't just slapping his name on a bottle, he was pouring his personal story into it.
Okay, here's where it really shifts gears and becomes, I think, exceptionally interesting for anyone looking at building their own platform.
Yeah.
In 2020, Forbes reported his income at a staggering $87.5 million. Highest paid actor globally, hands down.
Incredible number.
But that number, as impressive as it is, actually obscures the deeper story. The majority of his earnings no longer came from upfront acting fees from simply showing up on set.
Right, not just the salary.
Instead, they stemmed from ownership, back-end deals, licensing agreements, and accrued brand equity.
Can you break down what back-end deals mean for listeners?
Sure. Back-end deals aren't just about a higher fee up front. They mean that Johnson and $7 Productions receive a percentage of the film's gross revenue after it hits a certain profit point. So he's basically a co-investor in the film's success.
Directly aligned with the box office. Big difference from a flat fee.
Huge. And brand equity is the commercial value of his name and image, which he can then license out. He's turned his personal brand into this multifaceted income machine. He is quietly, but very deliberately, shifted from being a commodity talent for hire to being a platform, a whole ecosystem.
And this significant shift connects directly back to his initial motivation, that fear, that drive for autonomy.
How so?
It didn't happen because he merely wanted more money. It happened because he yearned for more freedom. He once famously said, "Being broke is what gives you hunger."
I remember that quote.
But that hunger, if it's left undirected, without a system or a clear path, it just leads to chaos or maybe some fleeting gains. What truly distinguishes Johnson is that he didn't just feel the hunger, he transmuted it into a concrete blueprint.
An actionable plan.
Exactly. He engineered a financial engine where every dollar had a job, every investment had a purpose, and every strategic move brought him closer to absolute control over his time, his values, and his narrative. It wasn't about getting rich quick. It was about building enduring options.
So what does this all mean for us, the listeners? When we talk about cultivating a money mindset, it's clearly not just about learning how to budget or pick stocks, right?
No, those are tools, but this is deeper.
Johnson's most profound financial lesson, I think, is disarmingly simple, yet pretty radical. Money is not the end goal. It is, instead, a tool.
A very powerful tool.
A remarkably powerful tool, yes. But a tool, nonetheless, designed to reclaim your story, to buy yourself options, and ultimately to dictate your own path rather than having it dictated to you.
Which brings us to a critical question for you, the listener. If you examine your own financial situation, not just how much you earn, but how you earn it, and more importantly, what it lets you do.
Does your money genuinely give you options, more choices, more freedom?
Or does it perhaps make you more dependent on external forces? That's the profound insight Dwayne Johnson grasped with just $7 in his pocket. And it's an insight he has demonstrably never forgotten.
That deep, almost visceral understanding of money as leverage, as freedom fuel, truly laid the essential groundwork for his next monumental moves. These meticulously planned strategic career pivots.
Yeah, they weren't just bold. They were architected with surgical precision. Dwayne Johnson's career path was definitely not a straight line.
Not at all. It was a calculated, deliberate sequence of strategic shifts, each one rooted in this remarkable clarity of vision and an unwavering desire for control.
So when his deeply held dreams of a pro football career collapsed, it was undoubtedly devastating.
Crushing, I imagine.
But he didn't just wallow in disappointment. He pivoted hard and decisively into professional wrestling.
Into the WWE.
But he didn't just enter the ring to perform. He entered to dominate, to redefine sports entertainment. Within a few short years, The Rock wasn't just a character. He was a household name. Unprecedented popularity.
Everyone knew him.
But what's often overlooked is that even during those dominant wrestling years, he was laying the groundwork for something far bigger. He wasn't just building a persona in the ring.
He was training the world.
Exactly. He was meticulously training the entire world to recognize a potent symbol, a compelling voice, and eventually a global brand that would unequivocally outlive any championship belt. He was building recognition, trust, and a dedicated fan base that would follow him anywhere.
Which makes his next move even more audacious, doesn't it? Leaving WWE at the absolute apex of his popularity.
Huge risk. He had the wrestling world at his feet, legions of fans, guaranteed income. Many stars who lived at their peak just couldn't translate that success.
So what was different about Johnson? What was his strategy, his foresight?
He understood something absolutely crucial. He couldn't truly grow, couldn't scale his ambition, couldn't diversify his influence unless he deliberately stepped outside that wrestling ring.
He had to leave the system.
And perhaps even more importantly, he recognized that staying exclusively within one established system meant he'd always be playing by someone else's rules, subject to their narrative, their ceiling. So he'd take that massive leap into Hollywood.
But not just hoping for a lucky break.
No, not as a guest star hoping for a sympathetic producer. He entered with the undeniable intent of becoming a future owner, a power player.
That's a brilliant point, because how do you enter an established, often kind of closed industry like Hollywood with an owner's mindset when you're basically starting from scratch there?
Well, early in his acting career, he deliberately took roles that challenged typecasting. He led a comedy in The Game Plan, took a supporting role in Be Cool.
Right, not just action roles.
Alongside the expected action roles, yeah. But the crucial insight is what he was doing behind the scenes. He was studying every film set, every producer, every marketing campaign. He treated each as a rigorous real-time case study.
Like business school on set.
Pretty much. How to scale influence, how to negotiate, how the industry really functioned beyond the surface. He was reverse engineering the system from the inside out, mapping the power dynamics, the value chains.
And that meticulous, almost academic study, it paid off big time.
Definitely. With $7 Productions now firmly established as his operational engine, Johnson was no longer passively waiting for roles. He was actively creating them.
He negotiated for significant back-end percentages, retained IP rights whenever possible,
and strategically positioned himself not just as a leading actor, but as an utterly indispensable asset to any project he touched.
like Jumanji. the next level. That grossed over $800 million worldwide.
Exactly. The real victory for Johnson wasn't just his upfront fee, impressive as it was his integral role as co-producer, securing a significant chunk of those back-end profits. His earnings didn't just end when the credits rolled. They kept flowing.
He became a true participant in the ongoing success.
And this profound shift from talent for hire to integrated owner wasn't luck. It was strategic architecture, built brick by painstaking brick.
He surrounded himself with the right people too, right?
Absolutely. He deliberately partnered with people who shared his ambitious vision and had complementary skills. Most notably, Dani Garcia, his former spouse and now formidable business partner. She's been instrumental in building this empire with surgical precision.
So their ventures are built differently.
Rigorously structured for endurance, diversified across multiple industries, inherently scalable, and always rooted in a crystal clear understanding of brand equity. This isn't just about making money now, it's about building a fortress for the future.
That diversification is absolutely key, isn't it? We're talking acquiring the XFL for $15 million when others scoffed during the pandemic.
Bold move.
Launching Teremana Tequila, forecasting valuations over $2 billion, selling 600,000 cases in its first year, a record.
Unheard of for a new spirits brand.
ZOA Energy, the Under Armour line. Each move reinforces his central belief. If you don't own the platform, you're always replaceable, always subject to someone else's rules.
And that, ultimately, is the core thesis of his entire career. Financially, yes, the results are staggering. $20 million plus per film, often with huge bonuses.
But that's just one income stream now.
And increasingly, not even the primary one. The real wealth isn't just the money, it's the incredible leverage it provides. He has the power to choose roles, dictate his schedule, own the stories he tells, and monetize not just his image, but his values, his identity.
That's the real game. Not just being rich, but becoming truly irreplaceable.
Especially in an era where attention is currency and an authentic identity is the most valuable asset.
This strategic approach, this architectural way of building a career, it really invites a question that can be a little uncomfortable for many of us.
So on?
Are you truly working for your career, or is your career actually working for you? Because the difficult truth is most people spend their lives diligently climbing ladders they don't even own. Johnson, by contrast, didn't climb someone else's ladder. He meticulously built his own from the ground up. And now, crucially, he decides who gets invited up.
That extraordinary level of control, that immense leverage, it's sustained by something profoundly foundational. And often, let's be honest, deeply unglamorous, unwavering, almost monastic daily discipline.
Yeah, his public persona is larger than life muscles, charisma, energy.
Infectious energy, yeah.
But his daily life, the engine powering it all, is grounded in extreme, relentless, almost military-grade discipline.
It's absolutely true. Long before the cameras roll, before the red carpets, the interviews, often before the sun is even up.
His day kicks off around 4 a.m.
He calls it the anchor. And it's astonishingly consistent. No matter where he is in the world, filming in Budapest, launching a brand in LA, at home, the core ritual doesn't change.
What is it exactly?
First, cardio, then his first meticulously portioned meal, then a grueling weightlifting session. Every single day.
I mean, 4 a.m., I struggle to even think about that, let alone hitting the gym for hours.
It's truly remarkable. And this ritual isn't just about maintaining his impressive physique, though it does that. For him, as he's often said, it's about staying centered.
Reclaiming control.
Exactly. Reclaiming control of his mental and physical state before the demands of the world start pulling him in a million directions. In a world constantly asking for pieces of him, that pre-dawn grind, in solitude, is his sacred time to prepare, to fortify himself.
It's a powerful, non-negotiable act of personal ownership, a commitment to himself first.
Yeah, and that personal ownership extends to his physical image and training in a way that's pretty unique among celebrities.
Also,
Unlike many who outsource their conditioning to trainers, Johnson takes deep, personal, hands-on responsibility. He famously invests in and builds traveling gyms, massive truckloads of custom equipment that literally follow him around the globe.
The Iron Paradise.
His Iron Paradise, yeah. And it isn't merely a convenient place to work out, it's a tangible manifestation of his identity, a symbol of his commitment.
He doesn't just work out for a role.
No. He works out because that's fundamentally, intrinsically who he is. The discipline isn't temporary for a film, it's institutional, woven into the fabric of his being. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy in action.
And these deeply ingrained habits aren't just physical either. His time management, given his insane schedule, is a masterclass.
Mind-boggling.
Think about the scale. Multiple demanding film projects, a growing portfolio of businesses, branding deals, consistent, high-quality content production.
All while maintaining that remarkably consistent and deeply personal online presence, connecting with those 395 million followers.
But what truly sets him apart isn't just the volume, it's the tone, the quality of that connection.
What's genuinely fascinating is that his social media messages feel authentically personal, almost like a text message. They don't sound like generic corporate statements or polished PR copy.
Yeah, they sound like him.
They sound exactly like your most motivated, most supportive friend texting you directly. Whether he's sharing an epic cheat meal or a raw post-workout motivation video, the delivery always rings true.
And he rarely promotes directly, does he?
Exactly. He shares experiences. This subtle but absolutely critical distinction transforms passive followers into active believers, into passionate advocates. It's a conversion of attention into trust.
The viral power of this consistency and authenticity is huge. Remember 2021, the hashtag rock routine TikTok trend?
Oh yeah, that was everywhere. Millions attempting his schedule. 4 a.m. wake-up gym, 7 meals.
Some seriously, some maybe not so seriously. But it became a global cultural phenomenon, showed the resonance of his discipline.
And perhaps more importantly, it offered a powerful counter-narrative in an age obsessed with shortcuts and overnight success.
Right.
Johnson's life unequivocally demonstrates that true, sustainable greatness is often built through consistent, disciplined, and, yeah, sometimes boring, repetitive daily actions, far from the spotlight. It's built in the quiet grind.
Most people aren't willing to live that way.
Which makes his example even more potent.
Even something like his legendary Sunday cheat meals, they've been cleverly integrated into his brand.
The pancake stacks, the pizza.
Epic photos, platters piled high, mountains of sushi. It's indulgence, yes, but it's structured, deliberate indulgence.
Yeah. And it serves a very clear strategic purpose beyond just satisfying a craving. These posts humanize him, show a relatable side despite the superhuman discipline.
They show that discipline allows for pleasure.
Exactly. And that success doesn't require constant punishment. It requires planning and balance. Those posts go viral not just because they're outrageous, but because they subtly prove you can live like a machine during the week and still make room for joy. It's aspirational balance.
So his greatest achievement really isn't just becoming unimaginably rich or famous. It's redefining daily excellence for a global audience.
He's made early mornings cool. He's made consistency viral.
He's taken old school values like hard work, humility, routine, and repackaged them for the modern age. Made the unglamorous glamorous.
And his relentless behavior becomes this incredibly powerful form of leadership, the most effective kind, arguably.
Leading by example.
It's not leadership that barks orders. It's leadership by unyielding example every single day, no excuses until people are inspired and often follow. It's the power of embodied values and disciplined action.
So here's the challenge for you, for us, as we absorb this. If someone recorded your habits for the last 30 days, every decision, how you started every morning, every action, would they see a person actively becoming who they claim they want to be?
Oof. It's a tough question.
Because in Johnson's world, discipline isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's the undeniable proof of intention and commitment.
And that profound intention, that tangible proof, is rooted in something even deeper, his core life philosophy.
Right. At the heart of this sprawling empire lies something most people don't associate with a superstar action hero. A profound, deeply lived philosophy.
These aren't just abstract ideas. They're a practical, battle-tested framework for making decisions, wielding power responsibly and critically, staying human while everything around him becomes this whirlwind.
It's so true. He isn't just successful because he works hard, though the work ethic is legendary.
Off the charts.
He's successful because he thinks deeply, constantly about why he does what he does, and crucially, who he becomes in the process. His decisions are rarely reactive, rarely on a whim.
Almost without exception. They're meticulously values-based, guided by an internal compass.
So when he selects a role, he doesn't just ask, will this make money? Or will this be a hit?
He asks, does this role reflect something I believe in? Does it align with my values and what my audience expects? That's why you rarely, if ever, see him play villains or morally ambiguous characters.
He knows his audience.
At a granular level.
Yeah.
They don't just want entertainment. They want positivity, optimism, grit, momentum. So he has meticulously built this brand of characters, mirroring his personal code. Protect others, stand tall, keep a sense of humor.
This alignment between his brand and his authentic self isn't accidental. It's intentional, cultivated over decades.
He often says, know your audience, but more importantly, know yourself. That self-awareness informs every move.
Like taking the role of Black Adam.
Yeah, it wasn't just about entering the superhero genre. It was about representing strength born from pain, offering audiences, particularly young men of color, a powerful symbol of power that wasn't perfect, but deeply human, flawed, relatable.
And voicing Maui in Moana, same deep thinking. Not just a fun animated role, it was a profound opportunity to honor his Polynesian heritage and create global cultural representation on a massive stage. These aren't just acting gigs, they're extensions of his core identity, his purpose.
And this rigorous personal filter extends seamlessly into his business decisions too.
Like Teremana Tequila. He didn't opt for a sleek, hyper-luxury image, which might have been easier.
The traditional celebrity route.
Instead, he deliberately chose warmth, tradition, community. The name Teremana itself, Terra for earth, mana for spirit, Latin and Polynesian roots.
That wasn't just clever branding.
No, it was a deep-seated belief in action. He wanted a product celebrating the people who distill it, the land it comes from, not just the celebs who drink it. He shares videos from the distillery, thanking workers by name.
That authentic connection, the community focus.
It's a huge part of why Teremana grew so fast and resonated so deeply. It felt real, built on values and heartfelt storytelling.
Even his public communication follows this principle of, what do you call it, radical sincerity. Yeah, it feels increasingly rare and almost radical today. He's not afraid to post raw, unfiltered videos about failure, insecurity, grief, gratitude, just as much as triumphs.
Like after his father's passing in 2020, he shared that incredibly raw video about grief and legacy.
Not scripted, not manicured, just a man reflecting in real time, sharing vulnerability with millions.
That kind of vulnerability, especially from him, it doesn't just build engagement numbers.
It builds profound, enduring trust. It powerfully shows that true strength isn't the absence of emotion, but the courage to carry intense emotion with clarity and grace. A powerful message in an age of curated perfection.
All of this culminates in a very rare kind of decision-making, blending gut instinct with this unwavering identity.
He doesn't just say yes to every opportunity, no matter how lucrative. He rigorously asks if it aligns with his long game, his vision. He's optimizing for lasting legacy, not fleeting virality.
And that means having the courage and the financial freedom to say no.
To turn down massive offers, multi-million-dollar deals, if they don't feel right, if they don't align. Walking away from projects that might make quick money but cost credibility or dilute his message.
Having an internal center strong enough to withstand the noise.
Exactly. This values-driven decision-making is often slow, deliberate, invisible. But is what ensures his success is sustainable, built on principles. When your choices come from values, you don't have to chase trends, you become the trend.
So this leads to another crucial, maybe uncomfortable question for you, the listener. Are your decisions, the choices you make daily, actively shaping your identity in a way that feels true? Or are they subtly chipping away at it?
Because in the long run, the life you build is just the sum of those choices.
And Dwayne Johnson has spent decades making sure his choices add up to something far more profound than just fame or fortune. Something that lasts, something meaningful.
And that lasting impact, that meaning, is amplified exponentially by his unparalleled influence in the digital sphere.
He doesn't just exist online. He absolutely dominates it, in a world where attention is fragmented and trust is scarce.
He's one of the few who can post a photo, a sentence, even a shrug, and reach hundreds of millions of immediate impact. His ability to command attention and respect is staggering.
Over 395 million followers across platforms. It rivals entire media corporations. But it's not just the size, it's the strategy.
A masterclass in building genuine connection at scale. Unlike many celebs who delegate social media or treat it as a chore.
She approaches it like a CEO running a global media brand, with intent.
Every post, every caption, every shared moment is crafted as part of a broader, consistent narrative, positioning him not just as a performer, but as a mentor, motivator, a relatable friend.
And he writes his own captions, right? Doesn't outsource authenticity.
Exactly. Speaks directly, personally, often unscripted video messages. Blends vulnerability with motivation. Feels less like broadcasting, more like a one-on-one conversation with millions.
And it undeniably works. His Instagram engagement rates are consistently among the highest, despite the massive follower count.
Why? Because, as we said, he rarely promotes, he authentically shares. Behind-the-scenes footage, personal letters, grueling workouts. The tone is never look at me. It's always come with me.
That subtle shift makes all the difference. transforms followers into believers, fans into advocates.
And this unparalleled influence translates directly into serious, market-moving economic power. When Johnson promotes something, a film, ZOA, Under Armour, it literally moves markets. His word carries weight.
Think about Teremana Tequila's viral success, largely traced to his masterful personal storytelling.
He doesn't just post a glossy ad. He walks through the distillery, thanks workers by name, shares details about the harvest, raises a glass in celebration. The message is clear. This isn't just a product. This is my product, and I stand behind it.
And people believe him implicitly, which is rare and precious today.
But his influence extends beyond just commerce. He's also remarkably politically savvy, though crucially, never overtly partisan.
That maintains broad appeal.
Right. In 2020, he released that rare, emotional video endorsing a presidential candidate. Not for popularity, but from civic responsibility, personal conviction.
It trended globally, not because it was flashy, but because it felt personal, authentic.
In an era of low trust, his ability to speak from the middle with clarity and conviction is a compelling case study in leadership through narrative and credibility.
The true engine behind all this isn't just charisma, though he has tons of that.
Undeniable charisma.
It's what we're calling power thinking. He doesn't just react to opportunities. He actively creates entire ecosystems. Thinks platforms, not posts.
$7 isn't just a production company. It's a storytelling vehicle powering everything from films to fitness brands. A synergistic web.
Branding deals aren't just endorsements. They're partnerships and equity. He has a vested interest.
He's not simply promoting things. He is fundamentally building them from the ground up. Time, capital, personal brand equity. That shift in mindset, employee to owner, celebrity to platform, separates him.
And underneath it all, that deeper principle, unwavering consistency, not just in content, but in character.
His voice, his persona, his core values, they just don't waver. Launching Tequila or comforting a fan, it's the same guy.
He has systematically trained his audience to trust him, implicitly. Not because he's perfect, but because he's remarkably predictable in his values, his authenticity.
That deep trust is incredibly rare and immensely valuable.
So if you're thinking about your own influence, whether you have 50 followers or 500,000, the core question isn't just how often you post or how many likes you get.
It's, what do people feel when they see your name? What resonance do you create? Because in the end, influence isn't just reach. It's resonance.
And Dwayne Johnson built a digital empire not by chasing clout or trends, but by anchoring everything in authentic meaning and unwavering consistency.
Which brings us to perhaps the ultimate test of any empire, any brand, any philosophy: resilience.
Yeah, it's easy to admire someone when everything's going their way, sun is shining, but the real test is what happens when the lights flicker, the markets crash, the storm hits.
For Dwayne Johnson, crisis isn't a detour. He sees it as part of the design, a crucible for testing and refining. His ability to navigate chaos while still moving forward is one of the least glamorous, yet most defining aspects of his success.
Take 2020. The pandemic shutters film sets, cancels productions, closes gyms. Johnson doesn't vanish.
No, he strategically turns his garage into a workout space, brings millions of followers with him daily, keeps the Iron Paradise alive on camera. While others paused or went dark, he tripled down.
Leaned into the discomfort, became a source of energy, laughter, motivation for millions in lockdown.
His message was simple, consistent. Control what you can, never stop showing up. And beyond the pandemic, think about how he handled mixed reviews for some films, like Black Adam.
Yeah.
Instead of getting defensive, he used that feedback to refine his brand, often pivoting towards those big, family-friendly blockbusters that cemented his global appeal and audience trust. It was strategic iteration based on response, adjusting course while staying true to his core.
But his crisis thinking goes beyond just workouts or film choices. In business, he consistently builds ventures with long-term resilience in mind. They're anticipatory, not reactive.
When he and Danny Garcia acquired the bankrupt XFL for $15 million in 2020, when others scoffed.
Yeah, seemed crazy at the time.
He wasn't buying a short-term bet on sports. He was buying infrastructure. Investing in storytelling, second chances for athletes, building a league for underdogs by someone who'd been one himself.
It's a pattern. He doesn't follow waves, he builds shores.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crafting brands like ZOA or Teremana to fit values of health-conscious, authenticity-driven markets. Producing films with global resonance over niche appeal. Always playing the long game. Projects built around scalability, community, narrative, not fleeting trends.
He's shaping industries, not just participating.
Which is why he rarely overextends. Despite constant opportunities, he maintains focus, vets meticulously, chooses deliberately, plants seeds slowly.
Understanding that reputation is compound interest.
The longer you protect it, cultivate it, the more it protects you. That's why his brand has weathered controversies, industry shifts. It's built on principles, connection, not short-term metrics.
There's this unspoken contract with himself. Never drift from purpose, never compromise values for a quick win.
He said in a 2021 interview, "My goal isn't just to be the biggest box office star. It's to create things that last, things people feel." That, right there, is crisis-proof thinking.
That is brand building beyond trends or fame. Deeply rare. So many build success on momentum, the current wave, not solid foundations.
So when crisis hits, they scramble, often collapse. Johnson doesn't scramble. He adapts, pivots, doubles down on his core. Because his foundation isn't fame, it's intention, purpose.
And when intention drives decisions, setbacks don't break you. They refine you, strengthen you, propel you forward.
What does that mean for the rest of us, for you listening? It means the time to build your infrastructure, habits, relationships, values is before the storm hits, not during it.
It means when the world feels uncertain, chaotic, the most powerful thing isn't a detailed plan that might fall apart.
It's an unshakable compass, a guiding North Star rooted in your deepest principles.
That's how Dwayne Johnson thinks, not in quarters, but in decades. Not in fame, but in legacy. Which raises one final question for you. Are you building something right now that can truly survive the storm or only shine in the sun? What's your compass?
Dwayne Johnson's story, as we've seen today, truly transcends mere money, muscles, or movies. It is, at its heart, about architecture, emotional, strategic, spiritual.
He didn't stumble into an $800 million empire. He meticulously reverse-engineered one, built brick by painstaking brick through clarity, consistency, and refusing to let circumstance define him.
The real lesson isn't about becoming famous, or even necessarily rich. It's about becoming undeniable, not through hyper-perfection, but through discipline. Persistence, clear principles guiding every decision.
He didn't start with a silver spoon or a lucky break. What he had was those $7 and, critically, an unshakable belief he could build something the world hadn't seen. A brand rooted not in products, but in enduring principles.
And he absolutely did it. Today, with a net worth approaching $800 million, he stands as a powerful signal.
Yeah.
In a noisy world, clarity is power. When you know who you are, when decisions align with values, you don't need to chase opportunity, it finds you.
When you stay consistent in a world constantly changing, you don't need to force influence, you embody it.
But here's the deeper transformative truth. Johnson didn't just change his own life. He changed millions globally, just by showing what's possible when you stop outsourcing your future, stop waiting for someone else, and start behaving like the CEO of your own story, taking ownership.
So this isn't just a story about The Rock, it's a blueprint, a challenge, a mirror.
Because in the end, success isn't something you find, it's something you build day by day through your choices.
And every single day, how you show up, the decisions you make, how you treat your time, your name, your body, you are building something.
The only real question left for you is, will it last?
Maybe you've never had just $7, but maybe you've felt that same crushing weight, that moment where you realize no one's coming to save you. That if something significant is going to change, you have to change it, build it.
Maybe you're in that moment right now. You've got skills, ideas, maybe fire, but something's holding you back. Fear, self-doubt, believing you're not ready yet.
But as The Rock himself says, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready.
Powerful.
So here's what we truly want to ask you. What is your version of $7? What's that uncomfortable starting point, that low moment maybe you've been ashamed of, but could actually be your greatest story, your ultimate motivation, your blueprint?
We want to hear from you. Drop a comment wherever you're listening or watching this deep dive. Share your moment.
What was your turning point? What are you building now, today, brick by brick, that you want to last, that you want to define your legacy?
Because maybe your story doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real.
And the world is absolutely waiting for it.